Chapter 1801. Sean observed all night, and Zulu really stayed with Darius, leaving only in the late morning. "Well, I've sent them back," Benjamin said in a deep voice. "Don't worry, it's just a little impact. With me here, Darius will recover well. These are not a big deal," Sean assured him. "Darius's health is still good. With proper rest and care, he will recover. I'll go over now, you're busy." Benjamin had nothing else to do and got up to leave. "Aaron, how's the investigation going?" "Kingsley seemed to have gone out last night and his phone is still unreachable," Sean inquired. "We've made some progress. He's probably still sleeping," Benjamin replied, turning to leave. Sean's eyes lit up. "That's good, Kingsley still has some usefulness after all." Benjamin chuckled lightly and went back to the ward. Sean had work to do as well, so he didn't follow. He busied himself with his tasks. Kingsley woke up at this time, with a splitting headache. He touched his head, realizing he had drunk too much last night. He had mixed all kinds of alcohol, it would be strange if he wasn't drunk. He didn't even have a hangover stew to sober up when he got back. Suddenly, Kingsley felt lonely, with no one to care for him. How nice it would be to have someone like Aaron, with honey and children. When he was feeling down, his sister-in-law would always show concern. Maybe he had been around them for too long, and now he wanted to date too. What was he thinking? He should get up and focus on his work. Kingsley took a deep breath and quickly got out of bed. However, he felt dizzy and had to lie back down. He wondered if something was seriously wrong with him. After a while, the dizziness passed, and he immediately called Sean for help. "Sean, I'm feeling really unwell, please come and help me." Upon receiving Kingsley's call, Sean was startled by his weak voice. "What's wrong? Where are you?" Sean quickly got up and headed out. "I feel really dizzy, I'm at the apartment." With that, Kingsley hung up. "Wait for me, I'll be right there." Sean quickly grabbed some medicine from the pharmacy and drove to Kingsley's apartment. As he arrived at the door, he saw a woman standing there. "Who are you looking for?" The woman turned to him, looking a bit embarrassed. "I'm looking for Kingsley," she pointed to the door number. "Doesn't he live here?" Sean looked at her, not recognizing her. "He's not here, this is my place." Sean blurted out without thinking, instinctively trying to deceive her. He didn't know who this stranger was. "He doesn't live here, but his mom gave me this address." The woman showed Sean a piece of paper. "His mom gave it to you?" Sean looked at her again. "Yes, he doesn't live here." The woman nodded. Sean thought quickly, deciding to keep the truth from her for now and confront Kingsley later. Worried about Kingsley, Sean entered the apartment after scanning his fingerprint. "Sorry for the interruption." The woman glanced at him, as if she was at her own home, and then turned and left. Sean peeked out and took a look. Not bad looking. A bit spicy. "What are you looking at?" Kingsley stood at the door, weakly leaning against the door frame. Sean closed the door, hurried over, and felt his forehead. "No fever, just feeling dizzy." "Yeah, can hardly get up." Kingsley felt like he couldn't even move, looking listless. Sean checked him over, then went to boil some water and gave him some medicine. "Did you eat anything this morning?" "No, just woke up now." Kingsley leaned back on the couch, feeling weak. Probably low blood sugar. Chapter 1802. Sean walked over to his fridge to see if there was any chocolate. It was empty, with just a few bottles of mineral water and beer. Sean's mouth twitched. This guy had been out for a while, and there was really nothing at home. "Let me order takeout for you. What do you want to eat?" Sean had to sit back down next to Kingsley. Kingsley squinted at him. "Not hungry." Sean raised an eyebrow. If this foodie wasn't hungry, there was a big problem. "I'll take you to the hospital for a full checkup." Kingsley didn't say anything. He felt better after taking the medicine, but still felt weak. Oh no, did he drink fake alcohol last night? Sean saw that his face was a bit pale and quickly helped him up to leave. "Sean, am I dying soon?" Kingsley looked pitiful, hanging on to him with a hint of sadness. "Nonsense, you're not going to die." Sean struggled to help him into the elevator, and when they got downstairs, he supported him into the car. The woman he had met at the door just now hadn't left. When she saw the two of them coming down, with Kingsley looking like he was about to die, she quickly ran over. "What's wrong with him?" Sean was startled. "You're still here. Awkward. Why is he like this?" The woman was very nervous, as Kingsley seemed to be losing his senses. "Hey, Kingsley," the woman patted Kingsley's face. "Who are you? Go away." Kingsley was uncomfortable, waving his hand. The woman took a few steps back, looking startled, before regaining her composure. "I'll take him to the hospital." Sean didn't pay attention to her, helping Kingsley into the car. Before he could close the door, the woman followed. "I'm coming too." Sean glanced at her, rubbed his nose, and had no choice but to drive, prioritizing getting Kingsley to the hospital. "Kingsley, don't die, we're taking you to the hospital now." The woman held Kingsley, patting his face, almost in tears. Her anxious demeanor made Sean couldn't help but glance in the rearview mirror. Who is this woman? She knew Kingsley, but Kingsley seemed not to recognize her. "He seems to have low blood sugar," Sean said. Not sure how much Kingsley drank last night, there might also be a stomach issue from alcohol. But, the woman's tears fell on Kingsley's face. Feeling the warmth, Kingsley opened his eyes and saw a sad face. It was heartbreaking to see her cry. His mind was still not clear, so he didn't speak. Just staring at her. You're awake." The woman was excited and instinctively hugged him tightly. Only then did Kingsley notice he was lying on her lap. He tried to sit up but had no strength. The woman's scent inexplicably calmed him, feeling familiar. "Kingsley, hang in there, we'll be at the hospital soon." Sean glanced in the rearview mirror and sped up to the hospital. At the hospital, they were met at the entrance. They quickly took Kingsley in for examination. A bit of alcohol poisoning, induced vomiting, and stomach lavage. After all the commotion, Kingsley was lying in the hospital room. The woman stayed by his side, never leaving. Sean could see she was genuinely worried about Kingsley, feeling a bit closer to her. "Have some water." Sean poured her a glass of hot water. "Thank you." The woman nodded and took it. Sean looked at Kingsley lying on the bed receiving IV fluids, surprised that he had drunk so much alcohol. Luckily, he had noticed something was wrong and called for help. Otherwise, they would have thought he was just sleeping at home. Sean shuddered at the thought. Benjamin rushed over and saw Kingsley lying on the hospital bed, his brows furrowed in concern. "What's wrong with him?" he asked. "He was fine when I dropped him off last night. He drank too much, hurt his stomach, poisoned, low blood sugar." Sean explained the key points to Benjamin, noting that Kingsley had never suffered alcohol poisoning from being drunk before. This time, it was almost fatal when the test results came back. Chapter 1803. Is it safe now? Benjamin frowned, looking worriedly at Kingsley. This guy is usually full of energy, but lying in bed suddenly, Benjamin was still not used to it. "He went out last night. I don't know if he took it easy." "Yeah, rest for 2 days and he'll be fine. Luckily, he called me, otherwise it could have been a disaster." Sean sighed. Benjamin's handsome face turned serious. Alcohol poisoning is no small matter. While making a phone call, Benjamin instructed Sean, "I'll have 2 people come over to take care of him. Don't inform the Watts residents yet, old Mr. Watts and the others will worry." "I understand." Sean didn't dare to inform anyone at the Watts residence. Suddenly, Sean remembered someone who knew Mrs. Watts, and looked at the woman sitting by Kingsley's bed. Not knowing the woman's name, "Please don't tell anyone at the Watts residence, wait until he wakes up to see if he wants to inform his family." "I know." The woman nodded. Benjamin finally noticed the other woman, his gaze sharp. "Who is she?" Benjamin stared at Sean, wary. Sean coughed awkwardly and said to Benjamin, "I went to Kingsley's house and met her there looking for Kingsley too, but I didn't have a chance to ask. Kingsley's condition in the car was not good, so they rushed to the hospital, and now they have just settled down. She might be one of Kingsley's admirers." The woman looked at the 2 of them, seeing that they didn't recognize her, and chuckled to herself. She got up and walked over, introducing herself. "I'm Zyla Bailey." Benjamin raised an eyebrow. Just by hearing the name, he knew who it was. But as he looked at Zyla, his eyes were full of scrutiny. Sean looked shocked. Zyla. The chubby girl. Zyla's cheeks twitched. I'm not fat now, am I? Not only was she not fat now, but her figure was also quite hot, completely unrecognizable from her childhood appearance. Truly, how people change as they grow older. Your transformation is too big, I didn't even recognize you. Sean was amazed. Wow, this girl has changed so much, he didn't even recognize her. Sean's shock was not just a little bit. Was his cousin keeping too many secrets? Why didn't anyone in the family tell him? They had been in contact before, but it was all online, he had hardly seen any photos, and she had never posted any personal photos on social media. He thought she was still chubby. Zyla felt embarrassed. I just lost a lot of weight. Not just a lot, you've almost lost several times your weight, and your face doesn't look the same either. Sean scrutinized her without leaving a trace. She had natural beauty, no plastic surgery. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Benjamin was also surprised. The change was not ordinary, even he didn't notice. He didn't expect her to be an acquaintance. When did you come back? Benjamin, I've been back for a few days. Zyla glanced at Benjamin, a little afraid of him. Benjamin was cold and not easy to approach. Benjamin nodded, didn't exchange pleasantries, and said to Zyla, you go back first, I will arrange for someone to take care of Kingsley. Kingsley woke up, and his mood would probably be even worse if he saw Zyla. Sean also smiled at Zyla, thinking who could be visiting. It turned out to be Zyla. I'm fine, I'll just stay here and take care of him. I'll leave when he wakes up. Zyla wanted to see Kingsley wake up before she could relax. Benjamin didn't force her, nodded, and left. Sean also smiled at Zyla and quickly followed out. Seeing them all leave, Zyla bit her lip, then looked back at Kingsley on the bed. Does he still hate her? Thinking about being pushed downstairs by him, Zyla felt a little uncomfortable. However, she still didn't leave, pulled up a chair, sat by the bed, and stared at the sleeping Kingsley. Chapter 1804. Benjamin, are you really letting her stay? Sean said to Benjamin on the side. Benjamin glanced at him. She's here because of you, isn't she? Sean looked a bit innocent. I didn't bring her. She got on the car herself, but I thought she had left. I didn't expect her to still be waiting downstairs. Kingsley was in a bad situation at the time, so I just wanted to get him to the hospital as soon as possible. Who knows, she got on the car herself. I couldn't just pull her off the car, could I? Sean now knew she was his cousin, and he felt uneasy. When he lied earlier, this girl must have been laughing at him. Ah, I didn't expect her to be a familiar face, let alone a family member. Benjamin's mouth twitched. Aren't you afraid she's someone sent by the other party? Sean, unexpected. At the door, she said she was looking for Kingsley. I didn't recognize her, so I lied and said it was me living there. I didn't expect. Zyla looks completely different from when she was a child, she was like a ball back then. Benjamin glanced at him and walked away, feeling speechless. Sean caught up. Benjamin, where are you going? Back to Dad's side, you stay here and watch over them. Benjamin left after saying that. With Sean watching over them, there was nothing to worry about. Oh, Sean stopped and had to turn back towards Kingsley's ward. Seeing Sean come back, Zyla said to him, Sean, you go busy yourself, I'll stay here and watch. If he wakes up, I'll call you. You little girl, when you were at his house, why didn't you tell me? You made me think you were someone else. Sean was very upset. This girl had been abroad for many years and had never come back. I didn't expect her to change so much when she came back. They didn't recognize each other, and Kingsley definitely wouldn't recognize her either. Zyla smiled awkwardly and took out her phone. I'm sorry, you didn't recognize me, I was also stunned. Sean pursed his lips, it was his fault. Are you doing well abroad? Very well. Zyla smiled, she was prettier than before and seemed smarter. Sean asked her a few caring questions. Then he asked, are you still not giving up on him? Sean pointed to Kingsley on the bed. When Kingsley saw Zyla when they were young, he would hide. Later, he even scolded Zyla, making the poor girl cry. Oops, it should be the chubby girl. Zyla's face blushed. Sean could tell she still liked him. He sighed. What a doomed fate. Why bother, all these years, he hasn't contacted you, right? Sean hoped she would wake up and stop entangling with Kingsley. She was so heartbroken back then. Her family was afraid she would do something drastic. As a result, Zyla chose to go abroad on her own. And she hadn't come back for so many years. I know, he doesn't like me. I just went to the Watts residence with my grandfather today to discuss matters. I wanted to see him, but I didn't expect him to fall ill. I'm just waiting for him to wake up, then I'll leave. Zyla hid the loss in her heart and said with a smile. She wasn't that generous, and there was still some discomfort in her heart. The person she liked when she was young, after so many years, she still hasn't forgotten. Thinking that he was still single, and with Kingsley's mom actively giving her the address, she thought for a while and decided to go see him. Sean nodded. Do you have a boyfriend abroad? No. Zyla smiled. Old Mr. won't allow it. Sean chuckled. Old Mr. is quite strict. Then has old Mr. set his eyes on Benjamin's family? Zyla glanced at Kingsley and didn't say anything. Sean raised an eyebrow. Could it be that he has set his eyes on Kingsley? Why hasn't old Mr. mentioned liking Kingsley? Every time he brought Kingsley back, old Mr. seemed a bit disdainful. Old Mr.'s disdain was also because the two men were almost always together, afraid of any illicit affair. Moreover, Kingsley rejected his granddaughter, so naturally, old Mr. would be unhappy to see Kingsley. These things, Sean did not know. Chapter 1805. Benjamin returned to the ward, and Darius woke up. Need to use the restroom. Benjamin hurried over. Yeah. Darius glanced at him and asked, where did you go? Seeing Benjamin's expression a bit off, Darius' eyes were still sharp. I went to find Sean. Benjamin glanced at Darius, afraid that Darius would find out, and if Victor contacted him later, he might accidentally spill the beans. Can I be discharged from the hospital? Darius knew why he was looking for Sean, looking hopeful. Benjamin sighed lightly and told Darius, your blood pressure was a bit high today. If it stabilizes tomorrow, you can be discharged the day after tomorrow. I feel fine though. Darius also knew that his blood pressure was a bit high today, but he didn't feel any obvious symptoms. It was indeed high when the nurse came to measure it in the morning. Benjamin was speechless. When Darius returned to bed and lay down, Benjamin went to pour him some water. Still sleeping, Benjamin looked at Darius, who had been asleep for over an hour. Not sleeping anymore. Benjamin took the water glass and placed it aside. Do you want to eat something? Darius shook his head and looked at him. You should go to the company. No need to stay here with me. Just as Benjamin was about to say something, his phone rang, and he walked to the balcony to answer it. It was work-related. It took half an hour to finish the call. In the meantime, Benjamin occasionally glanced back at Darius' direction. Darius didn't want Zulu to be as restless as he was when he was around. Now he was just reading a book. Benjamin called Sean again. Has he arrived? He's here, Sean replied. He hasn't woken up yet. Probably still needs to finish the injection. Okay, call me if anything comes up. Benjamin couldn't focus on both sides, so he had Sean keep an eye on Kingsley. On Sean's side, he was still in Kingsley's ward, and Zyla refused to leave, leaving him helpless. Zyla, you should go back first. When he wakes up, Benjamin will call you, okay? Sean was afraid that Kingsley would be unhappy to see Zyla when he woke up. He was also afraid that Kingsley would say something hurtful to her. Sean, do you also not want me here? Zyla looked at Sean. Sean sighed, of course not, I'm just worried that you'll be upset. Zyla smiled, I'm not the same little girl anymore. Our families are quite close, so I'll leave when he wakes up and everything is fine. After hearing her say it several times, Sean didn't know how to persuade her. He hoped that she would really leave when Kingsley woke up. However, Kingsley, who hadn't woken up yet, woke up while Sean was out in the restroom. Kingsley woke up hungry. He felt like he had no strength in his body. When he opened his eyes, he met a pair of eyes staring at him, and Kingsley furrowed his brows. "Who are you?" Zyla was taken aback. Although she was mentally prepared, she still felt a bit disappointed hearing Kingsley's guarded tone. "You're awake, I'll pour you a glass of water." Without responding to him, she got up and poured Kingsley a glass of water. Kingsley's gaze followed her as she walked over. This woman had a good figure. Sizzling hot. It was his type, but he didn't remember ever seeing her before. The woman wouldn't be here to set up a scam, pretending to know him, would she? "Do you know who I am?" Kingsley stared at Zyla, his gaze somewhat cold. Zyla tightened her grip on the water glass, raised the bed for him, and handed it over. "You are Kingsley." Kingsley furrowed his brow, feeling frustrated. "Who are you, and why are you getting close to me?" "Have some water. You don't need to be on guard against me. I'm just a passerby. I saw you were sick, so I followed Mr. Bailey to bring you to the hospital. Now that you're awake and fine, I'll leave." Zyla was also in a bad mood and didn't want to talk to him. Kingsley didn't recognize her. As he watched the woman walk away like that, Kingsley was stunned. She really was just a passerby. Chapter 1806. Sean came back and saw Kingsley lying on the bed in a daze. He hurried over. "Are you awake?" "Yeah." Kingsley glanced at him. Sean checked him, and all his vital signs were normal. "Do you still feel uncomfortable anywhere now?" "Much better." After waking up for a while, Kingsley felt stronger than before. "Help me to the restroom, I need to pee." "Just wait a moment." Sean quickly helped him up, supporting him while holding the IV bag. Kingsley still felt a bit weak. After all, gastric lavage was quite damaging to the body. After washing his face in the restroom, Kingsley felt much better. Sean helped him back to bed, hung up the IV bag, and helped him lie down. "Rest for a while, I'll have some oatmeal porridge sent up for you." Sean called the cafeteria to arrange it. Kingsley lay on the bed, watching him busy. "What's wrong with me? Could it be that I'm poisoned?" "A bit of alcohol poisoning. How much did you drink last night?" Sean frowned, very worried. "I drank quite a bit, but I didn't vomit. I was fine last night, they just mixed all kinds of alcohol together." Could it be fake alcohol that caused this? Kingsley felt frustrated and angry, feeling like he was really going to die. "Fortunately, you called me, otherwise no one would have known if you had collapsed at home. Be more careful in social situations in the future, don't drink so much randomly." Sean reminded him. That turtle grandson." Kingsley sneered. No, he had to check those wines to see if they were fake. He had never done this before. "Sean, when I woke up just now, there was a woman, do you know who she is? Did she come with you to take me to the hospital? Why have I never seen her before?" Kingsley wondered. He was still puzzled by this. Sean's eyes flashed white. "Maybe she's your neighbor or something. I went up to find you, and she was on that floor." Kingsley remembered, when Sean had just arrived at his place, he was looking at the door. Was it that woman? Why have I never seen her before? Maybe she just moved in. Did you ask her name? Sean looked at him curiously, still not recognizing her. She didn't say, just gave me a glass of water and left. Kingsley stared at him. Do you know her name? Thinking about the woman who stayed from bringing him to the hospital until he woke up, Kingsley was still somewhat incredulous. He wondered if he had been a bit cold towards her. I don't know, I was busy taking care of you at the hospital, and when I finally settled you down and went to the restroom, you woke up. There was a pause, and Sean didn't say anything. Since Kingsley didn't recognize her, he didn't say anything either. I'll call Benjamin, he's worried about you, Sean said, taking out his phone. Benjamin knows I'm here too. Kingsley was a bit annoyed. Yes, he's at the hospital. Sean glanced at him. The phone connected. Hello. Benjamin's voice came through Sean's phone. Benjamin, Kingsley just woke up. I checked on him, there's nothing major, just a bit weak. He'll be fine after a few days in the hospital and some injections. Sean reported Kingsley's condition to Benjamin, reassuring him. Okay, I'll go see him later, Benjamin replied before hanging up the phone. Benjamin will come to see you later. Sean told Kingsley. Kingsley chuckled. Sorry for making you worry. Don't take your health for granted. You need to be more careful in the future. Don't drink so much every time you go out, Sean reminded him again. I only did it to get close to them for business. Who knew these people? Kingsley became more and more frustrated. I wonder how things are going with 11 and 17. Chapter 1807. Sean glanced at him and smiled. Benjamin said you gained a lot. Really? Kingsley's eyes lit up. Kingsley began to tell Sean about what happened last night. You didn't see it, but if you did, it would definitely shock your worldview. They were just doing this and that on the street. Sean's mouth twitched. I have a video, do you want to see it? Kingsley looked at Sean provocatively. Seeing his expression, Sean knew everything was fine. Just rest well, you have so much to say as soon as you wake up. Kingsley snorted. Isn't this boring? Why hasn't the cafeteria delivered the food yet? I'm starving. It takes a few minutes for it to be delivered. Sean saw how impatient he was. It's not on the same floor. It takes a few minutes for the cafeteria to come from the main building, then take the elevator, walk to the ward, it also takes time. Then can you pour me a glass of water? I want to fill my stomach. Kingsley hasn't eaten anything all day. His stomach was empty, with no reserves at all. Benjamin originally wanted to take Darius downstairs for a walk, but he didn't expect Kingsley to wake up so quickly. He stood up and said to Darius, do you want to go downstairs for a walk? Darius glanced at him, wanting to go out, but said, aren't you busy? I'll have them take you downstairs for a walk. Seeing that Darius didn't object, Benjamin called the bodyguard in to take Darius to the garden downstairs. Breathe in some fresh air. Bodyguard pushed a wheelchair in and helped Darius sit down. I can walk slowly, no need for this, Darius said with a wry smile. There's still a bit of a walk. You can walk a bit when we get to the floor downstairs. Benjamin replied softly, while instructing the bodyguard, take care of Dad. Yes, Mr. Graham. 4 bodyguards escorted Darius out. Do we really need this many people? Darius was a bit speechless at the sight. Leave 2 of them to accompany you. They've been on guard duty with you for so long upstairs. Let them accompany you downstairs for a stroll to relax. Benjamin waved his hand, letting them go. The bodyguard was there to prevent unnecessary harassment. It was their own hospital, so there wasn't much danger. Whether or not there were bodyguards with him didn't matter. The other bodyguards were all downstairs at the entrance. As long as Benjamin went out, they would follow to protect him. After making sure Darius and the others had gone downstairs, Benjamin left the ward. He turned in the direction of the gastroenterology department. The oatmeal porridge from the cafeteria was brought over. The plain oatmeal porridge with lean meat was easy to eat, requiring almost no chewing. Is this too bland? Just oatmeal porridge, nothing else. Kingsley looked at the oatmeal porridge in front of him with a hint of pickiness. Drinking just this oatmeal porridge wasn't satisfying enough. Sean chuckled, your stomach can't handle rough grains right now. Eat something easy to digest first. Once you're feeling better tomorrow, you can start eating normally again. Tomorrow, Kingsley muttered, picky as ever, that he could only drink oatmeal porridge now. Otherwise, he would continue to starve. Make me something delicious for the next meal. As soon as Benjamin entered, he heard Kingsley's picky eating sounds. Feeling better, his gaze fell on Kingsley, who looked a bit haggard. I'm much better, Benjamin. It's just that Sean was too nervous. Look at this oatmeal porridge he prepared for me. You wouldn't have an appetite for it either, right? Kingsley complained to Benjamin, while Sean looked disdainful. Benjamin indeed didn't fancy the oatmeal porridge, but it wasn't for him to eat anyway. He glanced at Sean and instructed, just give him plain oatmeal porridge for the next meal. No need to add any meat, Kingsley. Sean laughed heartily, while Benjamin was being tough. He could handle this guy. Let's see if you dare to be picky again. Chapter 1808. You guys are so heartless, you don't even care if I live or die. Kingsley cried miserably while eating oatmeal porridge, with an IV drip in his hand, making it hard for people to watch. Sean and Benjamin glanced at each other, both used to his behavior. Just rest for a few days, Don't worry about anything else, Benjamin told him, urging him to rest. Kingsley looked at Benjamin. Benjamin, the video from the club last night is still with me. Do you want someone to get it now, or should I give it to you when I'm discharged from the hospital? Keep it for now, it's more valuable than the one from 11 and 17, Benjamin replied, hands in his pockets. You did well yesterday, but don't neglect your health like that in the future. Don't drink those random drinks. Benjamin had already reported the club for selling fake alcohol. The relevant authorities had already inspected the place, not only for selling fake alcohol but also for selling drugs and other crimes, enough to shut it down for good. The club was under the Lewitt family's business. Kingsley and Sean were still unaware of all this. Kingsley suddenly had alcohol poisoning, and Benjamin couldn't help but think of other possibilities. If it wasn't intentional poisoning, then there must be something wrong with the food and drinks. They had never had any problems when they were together. What about those drinks? Kingsley looked shocked at Benjamin, wondering if Benjamin had discovered something. Sean also looked at Benjamin in surprise. I had someone go check it out, and it turns out that about half of the alcohol in that club is fake. They're already cracking down on it. The results of the crackdown were definitely more fruitful than at night. Several departments worked together to enforce the law, and they caught one person after another. It's already made the news. Various media outlets caught wind of it and rushed to broadcast it, vying for the top headline. Benjamin, you're amazing, so efficient. Kingsley was deeply moved. He was still thinking about waiting until he was discharged from the hospital to investigate, but Benjamin had already taken care of it. Sean opened his phone and watched the live news. So many people. Almost all of them were blurred out, but it didn't make much of a difference whether they were blurred or not. In broad daylight, over 100 people were caught in the crackdown, all of them well-known figures. Many people's faces were exposed on the system. The live broadcast was filled with curses. There were already a lot of people gathered at the entrance, making a lot of noise. Let me see, let me see. Kingsley left his phone at home and called Sean over to take a look. Sean handed it over for him to see. Oh my, do these people have to be so provocative, flaunting themselves in broad daylight? These are all from the system, playing so extravagantly. Kingsley chattered unhappily as he watched. Well done, this is a den of vice. This club didn't used to be like this. Why is the management getting worse and worse now? Kingsley looked at Benjamin and asked, is this clubhouse owned by the Lewitt family? The Lewitt family doesn't care, aren't they afraid of implicating themselves? They recently changed management. Benjamin's eyes flashed. They are the only ones who know how deep the water is. Kingsley's eyes lit up. Is Arthur your man? No. Benjamin raised an eyebrow, knowing that it's not just him that the Lewitt family has offended. It wouldn't be Jeremiah Hoffman, would it? Sean glanced at Benjamin and made a guess. Don't speak without evidence. Benjamin glanced at them. Kingsley and Sean exchanged a glance. Something doesn't seem right. Benjamin, have your feelings towards Jeremiah changed? Kingsley asked slyly. Focus on recovering from your illness, and when you're better, get back to work on the investigation. Benjamin ordered without answering his question. Chapter 1809. Yes. Kingsley replied loudly, but thinking about the incident where Ethan pulled out Jeremiah's hair yesterday, Kingsley couldn't hold back. He asked in a low voice, Benjamin, didn't you do authentication for Arissa? Is the result out? Sean didn't know, as Ethan was handling that matter. Sean also looked curiously at Benjamin. Did Arissa's parents find her? No, he did it for Arissa and Jeremiah. Kingsley chuckled and hinted to Sean. It's out. Benjamin glanced at the two of them. What's the result? Kingsley and Sean were curious. Biological, Benjamin said calmly, not as excited as them. Kingsley and Sean were shocked and exchanged glances. Really? Sean was also extremely shocked. Jeremiah doesn't know yet. It depends on whether Arissa wants to acknowledge it or not. Benjamin didn't insist. It didn't matter to him. If Jeremiah loves his honey, that's good, but if he couldn't give her paternal love, it's fine if honey doesn't acknowledge him. Maybe Jeremiah wants to take Arissa to the base because of this. Sean suspected, feeling it was highly likely. It's possible, but Issa's skills are also good. Kingsley and Sean nodded in agreement. Arissa is also capable. Is Arissa excited? What does she think now? Kingsley curiously asked. Who would have thought that Arissa's biological father was so impressive? Although they didn't particularly like Jeremiah, it was also because of Justin's relationship, but they had to admit that Jeremiah was quite capable. A man who was expected to climb to the highest position in the future. And with no wife or children, he had no worries and devoted himself entirely to his career. This kind of man is quite formidable. It would be difficult to deal with him as an opponent. Fortunately, Benjamin thought of Arissa's silly and cute reaction when she found out last night that Jeremiah was her biological father. Sean and Kingsley exchanged a glance. What do you mean by, fortunately? Kingsley was puzzled. Benjamin glanced at him. She wasn't too excited or surprised. Does Arissa want to acknowledge him? Sean looked at Benjamin, feeling that Arissa simply wants to acknowledge him. This matter came as a bit of a shock. She needs some time to accept this fact. Benjamin could still understand. Whether or not she acknowledges Jeremiah as her father depends on her own feelings. Boss, who would have thought that after such a big circle, you would end up with Commander Hoffman's daughter? I never thought that Arissa's father was such a powerful person. Kingsley chuckled. Jeremiah had no children except for Arissa, so who would dare to bully her in the future? Seeing his happy expression, Benjamin's mouth twitched. Those who didn't know would think he was her real father. Thank goodness she's not from the Lewitt family. Sean smiled, comparing Jeremiah to the Lewitt family. He still leaned more towards Jeremiah. Benjamin's eyes darkened. This time the Lewitt family had stumbled, and they were likely to investigate. Kingsley, you better stay in the hospital and take care of yourself. The Lewitt family will definitely make a move. Kingsley had been to the club last night, and this matter couldn't be kept hidden. The club suddenly had an incident, and the investigation pointed to Kingsley, which would definitely raise suspicions for the Lewitt family. Aren't you their new manager? Even if I am just a pawn in their game. They might suspect us as well, Benjamin reminded him. Why did you report them then? Kingsley wondered. To lure the snake out of its hole, Benjamin smirked. Benjamin didn't have the patience for Kingsley's lack of initiative. Kingsley chuckled. Don't worry, I'll be careful. I've assigned a few people to you, Benjamin reminded him. Kingsley needed help with the covert investigation to ensure safety. Chapter 1810. All right. Kingsley knew that Benjamin had everything arranged, so there was no point in refusing. Sean said that there was a big harvest on the 11 and 17 sides. How big exactly? Kingsley was curious. He didn't know the specifics yet. Everything you've heard of, and even things you haven't, have happened. It's just a pity that it's only the lower level people. We need more reliable evidence to trip them up and make sure they can't turn things around. Benjamin's goal was to bring down the Lewitt family. Kingsley understood as well. If the Lewitt family didn't fall, there would be endless trouble. I didn't do anything last night either. I didn't contact Felix Luistro on my own initiative, so they probably won't find anything on me. Kingsley had been to that club a few times before, experiencing a different environment. Last night, it was Felix Luistro who suddenly called him over, not Kingsley reaching out first. It was ridiculous to suspect that he was deliberately getting close to them. As that woman you escaped from last night, okay. Sean glanced at Kingsley. It seems fine, I just didn't want to continue with them in the second half. Besides, what's the worst that could happen in the second half for them? As long as he wasn't caught, it didn't concern him. There was a fatality, Benjamin informed them. No one reported it to the police, they handled it internally. Kingsley was shocked. Wow, things escalated quickly, good thing I didn't go. Otherwise, he would have been implicated. You do have some brains after all. Benjamin praised him. Last night he went out to meet those people. He didn't know them at all, and that guy didn't even tell him. Kingsley chuckled. I'm not stupid. There's no need for me to get involved. I know what those people are up to. If I went along, I'd be guilty by association. Right now, I'm still innocent. I want to save myself for my future honey. As he spoke, he became a little embarrassed. Sean smiled. Benjamin glanced around the ward, and Zyla was no longer there. He asked Sean, "Did she leave?" "Yeah," Sean nodded. "Who left?" Kingsley looked at them curiously, having finished his oatmeal porridge. Sean glanced at him. "The woman you saw when you woke up." Benjamin also saw her. Kingsley looked at Benjamin, thinking he didn't know. He saw her. Benjamin glanced at him and didn't say much. "You rest, I'll go downstairs to check on Dad." "Is old Mr. Graham downstairs?" Kingsley and Sean asked in unison, looking at him curiously. "I had the others take him downstairs for a walk," Benjamin told them before leaving Kingsley's ward. Sean went to the balcony and looked down, and indeed Darius was downstairs, walking on the grass. "Sean, why don't you take me downstairs for a walk too?" Kingsley moved around on the bed, wanting to go out as well. Sean looked at him speechlessly. "I haven't told old Mr. Graham and the others that you're in the hospital. Are you sure you want to go down?" "If you're sure, I can take you down. When old Mr. Graham sees you in the hospital, your father will definitely find out too. Maybe you will also meet other acquaintances." Sean reminded him a few words and let him choose for himself. Kingsley thought if his family knew he was in the hospital, they would have to come here. He smirked. "Forget it, I'll just stay here." Kingsley sighed. After a while, he turned over and sighed again. "What's bothering you now?" Sean looked at him, glaring at him for being restless. "Be careful not to run a fever later." He couldn't even stay still while receiving the IV drip. "I'm bored, I've been sleeping for so long, uncomfortable, how about?" Kingsley's eyes lit up as he looked at Sean. "How about giving me a massage? You have quite the imagination," Sean chuckled.